coach and a soft skills trainer. I welcome you to the course 2 of Gyan.com. That's Communication Excellence Advanced. So we start with the first topic on understanding verbal communication. Verbal communication. As the name says, you use words to communicate. The verbal communication now can be bifurcated into two important segments. Number 1, written. Number 2, spoken. So when it comes to written and spoken communication, the verbal communication, words play the most important role. Apart from words, we also need to understand the words that we use in a structured format is equally important. How do we get to know that? Through the grammatical structure of sentences. Be it any language, words, letters, and grammatical sentences play the most important role. Move on to exploring and understanding non-verbal communication. Have you ever seen somebody not giving you a smile at all when you have just passed on or just bumped into a stranger and quickly smiled? Have you ever seen somebody going blank in front of you when you have narrated a 5-minute long story? Or have you seen somebody giving you those aggressive gestures, oh go that way? It happens many a times. We are unaware what our body is reacting. We are unaware that there is an imbalance between the mind thoughts and the actions body. So how do we come together and create a balance in all this? Let's understand non-verbal communication today. So what is non-verbal communication? Anything and everything that has nothing to do with the words that you speak is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication starts with the first thing, face. Anybody and everybody watches you or gazes at you or glances at you at least for a second, if not 2. Explore barriers to communication. If communication has to be a free flow of thoughts and words, don't you think communication can also cause barriers? Or what are the barriers that come in communication? Before we understand that, let's also keep this in mind that when you're communicating, when you're talking, it's equally important to even ask. What does asking help? How does it help you? Asking helps you to know better about what the communicator expects from us. What does he expect as an answer or a response or as a comfort zone for you? So when it comes to asking, it's important that you start probing people. How do you probe? So you have something called as the open and the close-ended questions. What are open-ended questions and what are close-ended questions? Close-ended questions are questions like, how are you today? The immediate reply would be good. I'm fine. I'm okay. So there is not much to explore from the question. Or a question like, did you go to the market today? Yes. For you is listening skills. Listening as an effective tool in communication. What is listening? When you have all your attention to the person whom you're speaking to. When you know you're focused. When you know you have given all your time and dedication to those few minutes or the few moments when you're listening to somebody is listening. And how do you evaluate that? On the quick nod that you get from your listener, the way you must be nodding now at my video. So yes, listening plays the most, and that's the biggest quick feedback a speaker gets. The quick nod tells that yes, you're going on track, we understand you, please go ahead. And those simultaneous nods, those quick consecutive nods tell us, oh wow, you're in the flow, go ahead swiftly. Listening, when it talks about focus, listening talks about your composition and comprehension and the context that you have understood is listening. Listening will help you understand the concepts, not necessarily only the verbal ones. And now, the biggest treasure in your listening communication is steps to be an effective listener, coming right away. Face the speaker and have good eye contact. What does it mean by facing the speaker? When you're in a communication arena, whether you switch roles from a communicator to a listener or from a listener to a communicator, it's important that you are sitting in parallel to the person whom you're talking to. Because that's number one, showing that you're interested. Number two, you're involved. And of course, the eye contact adds cherry to the cake. And eye contact need not be like gazing into somebody's eyes, or of course, not blinking too often, because that shows that you are nervous or you're too much into observation or an examiner. So have a constant eye contact with a proper regular blink. Of course, one more tip here is lean a bit when you're talking to somebody, whether you're standing or sitting. Leaning indicates that you're actually engaged in the conversation. You're interested in more communication and you're actually interested in giving away your inputs also.